Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bree if you are new here, and welcome back to Palette Throwback Thursdays. In today's video, I am pairing together the BH Cosmetics Nightshade palette with the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Puglife. So if you guys are interested in seeing how I pair these two products together, then just keep on watching. So while I put on my primer, even though I do this off camera, but while I put on my primer, this is actually the second time I am starting this video. So the way I've always done these like palette mashup type of videos where I like pair a palette with something else is I always used a random number generator. And typically, honestly, I'll just kind of like, I have a whole list of all the months and like all the like video dates on my iPad, and I will quite literally just write them all out. And I'll make some adjustments here or there, but for the most part, I'll pretty much always stick to what I have previously planned, especially when it comes to like Palette Throwback Thursdays, because they don't really change around too much. Anyways, so originally I had planned to use this palette with the Danessa Myricks Infinity Chrome Flakes, and I filmed my intro, literally filmed my makeup, like my eyeshadow rather, like I did a super basic, you know, literally one color, one shadow on my lids, and then I tapped the Infinity Chrome Flake over it, and my eyeshadow got so patchy. I will insert a video right here, but my like makeup or my eyeshadow got so patchy that I was like, I cannot do this. So I went and grabbed Puglife, which I've recently, like within the past couple months, had picked up. So I was like, you know what, I'll just use that one because it definitely, like, I hadn't previously used it basically, so it wasn't like a repeat. Not that I think it really would have mattered, but it's my channel, I make the fucking rules. But I just grabbed a one that matches the palette that I haven't used, and that's what we're doing today. However, I'm realizing I need to play around with the settings on this camera because I am looking a little too cool toned. That's better. I look a little bit more true to my own skin tone now. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this all over again, but I'm going to do a little bit different makeup today. I'm going to start out with the dark purple shade Cast a Spell and build that up on my outer corners. Yeah, I'm literally doing a cream shadow declutter, like filming it immediately after this video. And there was a part of me that was just like, just power through, like deal with the patchy eyeshadow and you like wear that when I'm filming the video so I can be like, oh, like see how this looks. But then I was like, why don't I just film a little couple second long video, and then that way I don't have to feel like I look like shit for 2 whole videos just to prove a fucking point. And see, the funny thing is I knew going into this video that that wasn't going to be a good idea. I literally today, as of today that I'm filming this video, not the day I'm posting it, but the day I'm filming it, I'm putting up my like current faves and fails, and my fail in that video was those eyeshadows. Like I knew that I didn't like them. So why I tried to like pigeonhole it into a Palette Throwback Thursday is beyond me. And then next up, I'm going to take the shade Shady and start blending out Cast a Spell and also just build this up in my crease. Also, that just like wasn't doing this palette justice, even though I'm really not going to do it too much justice today because I'm only going to be using the mattes. But everything about these palettes, so good. So incredibly good. Like, they just blend so well. The shimmers are so pretty. I'm really hoping that now that Makeup Revolution like owns or whatever BH Cosmetics, that they don't take away their shadow formula. I know that they, in my time at least, just released some new palettes. None of them spoke to me like enough to pick up to like do that research myself, but I am interested to see kind of how those palettes are received. Like, is the formula up to the same like kind of standard that BH has been putting out within the past couple years. Like, and we're talking about like this video right here, or this palette, and a lot of their, you know, newer-ish palettes were really, really good. They managed to nail down their shadow formula pretty well. And then I'm gonna take, I'm still super cool toned looking again. I'm gonna have to fuck with that in post. It's a little weird. See, like on camera, this looks like white. It's not white, it's like a pale pink. But I'm gonna take Deadly Flower and I'm just going to blend out these top edges and make sure everything's nice and soft. Considering I'm kind of doing this like off the cuff, like usually I have like, I'll have the video planned and then I'll have the makeup look planned and like everything can just go as smooth as possible. And the biggest reason why I do that is just like plan my makeup looks like that is so that I make sure that I'm not being super repetitive like with my colors and my application and stuff like that. But considering I'm kind of doing this just off the cuff, I actually might use one of the shimmers in here. We're gonna see how Puglife looks, because I feel like Puglife might just end up being a little bit dark for all over the lid. Alright, next up I'm going to take Puglife and I'm just going to put it on the open space on my lids. Alright, I think I do want a little bit more brightness on my inner corner, so I'm going to take a flat shader brush and I'm going to go into the shade Take a Bite and just kind of build that up on like the inner quarter of my lid, just like right about here. Just a little bit of, you know, brightness. See, that made all of the difference, and this makeup look looks significantly better than what I looked like before I stopped filming. So I'm going to jump off, put on a wing, and put on my foundation, and I will be right back. Alright, so I've once again sort of kind of changed how I do my base makeup. When I first changed it, I was doing foundation and concealer, and then cream bronzer, cream blush, powder bronzer, powder blush, and then going in and like setting portions of my face, and then if I had to, I was going back in with like the powder blush to kind of like touch up anything that got covered up, and then I was like, that feels like a few too many extra steps. So then I was foundation and concealer, cream bronzer, cream blush, and then I was going in with the powder foundation, and then I was doing the powder bronzer and blush, but then I was noticing that like the powder blush was like sticking weird in certain spots because like some spots were powdered and some spots weren't. So I've tried this once before and it worked out in my favor. So I did concealer and foundation, obviously, and then I have already put powder foundation on certain spots of my face. So my under eyes, my chin, my upper lip, my nose, the center of my forehead, and then my jawline. So as you can see, like my whole cheek area is unset as well as up in this area. And now I'm gonna go in with a cream. All right, so I'm gonna start off with the Rare Beauty bronzer stick. This is in the shade Happy Soul. Lily is in the window, so the lighting might get a little weird for a second while she plays in the fucking blinds, but whatever. I think in my head this was a little bit cooler toned of a bronzer than it actually is, but we'll make do. So after I put on the powder foundation and everything and like, you know, made sure everything was nice and set, I did go in with like a just like a hydrating setting spray to kind of melt that powder into my skin, so it shouldn't cause any weirdness in theory. I'm not going to put any on my nose. And then for cream bronzer, I'm going to go in with the Milani Cheek Kiss in the shade Nude Kiss. Alright, and then for powders, I actually go backwards. So I go cream bronzer, cream blush, and then powder blush, powder bronzer. Just because I feel like sometimes the blush can get like a little bit too much, and then, but I've realized that putting the bronzer over it kind of like tones it down a little bit, you know? So I'm going to go in with the Flower Beauty Flower Pots blush in the shade Sweet Pea. And then for bronzer, I'm going to go in with the Lorac Tantalizing Buildable Bronzer Powder in the shade Pool Party. This is a total, well, the cheaper one's the dupe, but the Maybelline City Bronzer in the shade 100 is identical to this. But I finally finished off my City Bronzer, so I pulled this out of my backups to use up, but whenever I finish this one, I'm just going to go back to the City Bronzer. Alright, and then sometimes if I go a little bit overboard, like towards the center of my face, like I did today, like I went a little bit crazy up here and I just a little bit too much on my cheeks, I'll go in with a really loose fluffy brush into my powder foundation, and I will literally just kind of, almost kind of like you're blending out an eyeshadow. And then next up, just to make my skin nice and glowy, I'm going to start out with the Essence Pure Nude highlights. And I'm just going to put a little bit of glow on my forehead. And this also kind of helps blend out any overboardness that I did. And then I'm going to go in with the ABH Sugar Glow Kit palette. And I'm going to start off in the shade Gumdrop and use that as a little bit of like a blush topper. And then sticking in the same ABH Sugar palette, I'm going to go in to the bottom shade Starburst and use that as my just highlight. Alright, so I'm going to jump off and finish up the rest of my face. I have not decided what I'm putting on my lips yet, so I'll show you guys that when I get back, but I will be right back. Alright, so for my lips, I went in with the Revlon Super Lustrous lipstick in the shade Bare Affair, and this is the final look. I am so happy with the way that it turned out, especially considering the way that it started. So I'm happy, you know? And honestly, that's just that's the video. So that is going to wrap up my palette Throwback Thursday using the BH Cosmetics Nightshade palette and the Colourpop Super Shock Shadow in the shade Puglife. Comment down below and let me know how you would pair these two products together. I would love to know. Please subscribe if you have not already. It would mean the world to me. Like this video, ring the bell, do all the things. I hope that you guys have an awesome day, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!